What is going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome back to another episode of this week's Dragon Ball Q&A session, where we have lots of awesome questions to go through, especially following the last video. A lot of you guys seem to be asking me lots and lots of awesome questions, so I thought here today I might as well just do an extra video a little earlier than expected and talk more Dragon Ball with you guys, especially going into Dragon Ball Super episode 66. So quick plug, guys, in case you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more awesome Dragon Ball content. Alongside, don't forget to also hit the video up with a like down below if you guys enjoyed the Q&A session, and if you guys have any sort of Dragon Ball question to ask me, simply drop your questions down in the comment section below for the next video. That would be, I believe, episode number 20. So without wasting any time, guys, let's begin with our very first question of the day. And of course, if your opinion's different than mine, you guys can simply comment your opinions down below. And again, these questions don't just reflect for me, they reflect to you guys as well. So our first question is from Johnny Davis. Hey Alex, I wanted to say that I love your previous Q&A video, number 18, especially the question that someone posted on Vegito using his Zamasu's own blade against him. I think that would be possible, yet awesome to see as a fan. Just wanted to add that. No problem, man. You inspired and helped create this community, so we can't thank you enough for it. Well, you put take instead of thank, but okay. Fuck these other clowns, just be you. Thank you, man. Here are my questions for Dragon Ball Super episode 66. Very interesting. Alright, question number 1. Will we get to see Vegito's Spirit Sword versus Zamasu's Energy Blade? It would only make sense, right? I mean, it would. Question number 2, what do you think it would take for Vegito to survive in his battle against Zamasu, since Zamasu can't die? Question number 3, do you think it was too early to show off Vegito's most powerful finisher, the final Kamehameha, instead of saving it for last? And finally, question number 4, do you believe Vegito is fan service? Thanks, Alex. Please answer this, please, and have a great day. Well, thank you, man. Well, to answer your first question, in terms of Vegito versus Zamasu and Spirit Sword versus Energy Blade, that would be really cool to see, because from the very first day we ever saw Zamasu conjure up this energy blade from his hand, we were all just like, holy shit, imagine if like Vegito had his Spirit Sword out and stuff like that. So I think that it'll really make sense for them to do that, because I mean, I think that Zamasu's energy blade thus far has been like his trademark, including Black as well, especially Black. I mean, he's been stabbing everyone with that thing. He stabbed Vegeta, he stabbed Trunks, he stabbed Goku. So, you know, like, I think it'll only make sense for Zamasu to attempt to use that energy blade to stab Vegito, but instead Vegito counteracts with his own energy sword. I mean, I think that would be amazing as well. It'll make sense, but I really doubt they're going to showcase that, because depending on when you're watching this video, of course, they have announced Dragon Ball Super's episode 67, 68, and 69, but they haven't really released the full detailed description of what those episodes are about. So we don't really know if episode 66 is going to be like the be-all end-all per se, or for example, if they're going to continue on and fight one more time during Dragon Ball Super episode 67. However, I would like to see that. I mean, there are some people that don't want to see the energy sword versus the energy blade, but for me, I would definitely like to see that. So to answer your second question, what will it take for Vegito to survive against Zamasu? Well, I mean, given the fact that Zamasu is immortal, I don't think that Zamasu has surpassed Vegito in power, but I do think that over a period of time, if Vegito continuously accumulates attack after attack after attack on Zamasu, and it has little to no effect, then I'm pretty sure that Vegito has to get tired at some point, because I really doubt that his durability or his stamina is infinite at this point. I do think that he has somewhat of a breaking point, but what I think Vegito needs to do in order to survive against Zamasu is not play around at all. Is just be as relentless and as ruthless as physically possible. Vegito cannot afford to lose this fight, because if he does, pretty much the future is screwed. So I think, in my opinion, if Vegito were to survive this battle against someone who can't die, his best bet is, just like in the previews, is to not take this as if he was Buhan and take the fight as serious as physically possible, because if this dude were to toy around, and that was like one of our big gripes about Vegito, everyone was just like, ah, man, like he was toying around, we never really saw him do much work, like he never took the fight serious. But now he has all the reasons in the world to take the fight serious, because he's fighting someone who is on a completely different level than Buhan. So I think in order for him to survive, he has to take the fight serious, otherwise he's dead. And to answer your third question, was it too early to show off Vegito's most powerful finisher, that being the final Kamehameha? I would have to say, who's to really say that we know that his finisher is the final Kamehameha? We don't know if he has something else that's going to be used as his trump card per se. But in terms of them showcasing the final Kamehameha, I'm actually digging that a lot because I don't think we ever saw that before, aside from the video games, of course. But within like the main continuity of Dragon Ball, we've never seen, you know, Vegito utilize that attack. So seeing him do that now is really, really awesome to see. So I think, is it too early to show it off? Not really, especially if they're saving like this big energy, like, you know, a technique or an attack, whatever he has up in his arsenal for later. It'll only make sense to unleash the final Kamehameha wave now and unleash Vegito's most powerful and destructive attack later, just for, like, you know, desperation purposes, just in case he knows that he can't beat Zamasu, he can use whatever he has left. So in terms of them using the final Kamehameha too early, I don't really think so. Some people might differ, and they might say, well, he is using it too early, but in my opinion, he's not. And to answer your fourth question, is this fan service to us, the fans? Hell yeah, it is, man. Dragon Ball Super has been nothing but fan service. We've been getting so much out of this, you know, franchise. We've gotten the Future Trunks story. We've gotten the Universal God of Destruction tournament. We've gotten new forms. We've gotten a whole bunch of stuff that ultimately benefits the fans. And I'm pretty sure that at some point Toei must have heard our pleads for, you know, having a fusion return, whether that be Vegito, whether that be introducing Gogeta as a canon figure in the show. I think having Vegito appear during this series, especially so early as episode 66, is definitely fan service. It's definitely fan service because that just goes to show that we have an impact on the show, and I think there's going to be more to come. However, in terms of if this is going to be Vegito's last appearance, I would have to say yes in a way, only because of the situation that they're in. But in terms of them having to, you know, showcase Vegito on afterwards, that's up in the air right now. But I do think it's possible, however. So anyways, Mr. Johnny, thank you for your questions, my friend, and I hope you have a great day, bro. And now moving on to the next question, which is from Anakin Otaku. First off, I wanted to say that they are copying and pasting the Boo arc up in this bitch. Wow. It's trash, to be honest, because we all know Vegito isn't going to kill him. So what's the point? Fanboys crying over Vegito, but now that he is here, he won't do shit. So my question is, what do you feel about Vegito not being the one to kill Zamasu? Wow, very interesting question, very different. It wouldn't make sense to have Vegito be the hero of Trunks' story, right? Thanks. Amazing channel, by the way, Alex. Keep pushing it, bro. And, I mean, fucking the best Dragon Ball channel of them all. Y'all forget Alex was the first on the scene in 2011. Peace. Thank you, man. Well, it was actually 2012. I've been here a lot longer than that, but aside from that, like on this channel, it's been 2012. I do appreciate the love and support, and yes, I was the first, one of the first Dragon Ball YouTube channels on here. Not the first, but one of the first, like back in the day. However, going back to your question, okay, so you're saying that fanboys, or us, we're crying that Vegito isn't going to beat Zamasu. Well, you've got one thing right, and that's the end of your question. You said it wouldn't make sense to have Vegito be the hero of Trunks' story. This is ultimately Trunks' story. I mean, Trunks was the one that went back into the past seeking for help. This was Trunks' battle with Black in the future. He couldn't overpower him, so he had to think of alternatives. This is ultimately enough, you know, this is ultimately enough Trunks' story. So having Vegito beat him, however, I don't think would be a bad thing per se. It'll give Vegito a kill under his belt, because Vegito has never killed anyone before, aside from his potential to kill Buhan, but he never did so. But I think that Vegito does possess quality traits that can defeat Zamasu. A lot of people are often pointing the finger and they're saying, no, it's impossible, Vegito can't beat him. Who's to really say? I mean, I definitely believe that he can beat Zamasu. It's just the question of, you know, how is he going to do it when Zamasu's immortal? But in terms of, you know, Trunks having to do anything that's going to potentially cause Zamasu to fade away, I do think that'll make a lot of sense, because just like in the Cell Saga, when, you know, Trunks was complaining about the androids and stuff, he never truly was the hero of that story, but instead we saw how Cell blew a hole in him, and that was the end of that story. So and we saw how Gohan was the hero by the end of it. I think that having Vegito and Trunks be the heroes of the story would make the most sense, because if you're gonna have the muscle of the group, that being Vegito, do all the work while Trunks is the brains and he tries to figure out how to seal him away or how to permanently damage Zamasu to the point where his immortality doesn't apply to him no more, would make the most logical sense. Instead of having one person defeat him like directly, wouldn't really, you know, just apply for the other characters per se. It'll make someone like Trunks feel useless. So in terms of how do I feel that Vegito might not be the one to kill Zamasu, I don't really have a problem with it, so as long as we see a great fight, and so as long as we see Zamasu and Vegito have an epic fight. So I mean, that's just my opinion, of course. You're saying that they've copied the Buu saga. If you can elaborate further in the comment section on what do you mean by that, that'll really mean a lot to me, because if you're talking about Goku and Vegeta fusing out of desperation or whatnot as a copy and paste, that's not really a copy and paste, because there's not much they can do as individuals to battle someone who just can't die. So, but anyways, Mr. Anakin, thank you for the question, my friend, and I hope you have a great day, bro. And now moving on to the next question, which is from Super57S. You're not going to believe what I just thought, guys. What if the premonition Beerus had of the Super Saiyan God wasn't Super Saiyan God Goku, but it was actually Super Saiyan God Vegito? Because remember, guys, the outline he had was very faint, and the black hair and black figure wasn't Goku's, if you guys look. What if Beerus was premonitioning Vegito and not Goku? Man, that would be insane. Alright, so you're saying, what if Beerus' vision was actually Vegito being his arch rival over someone like Goku? Well, it's really hard to say, and I'm gonna have to go back and look at what you're talking about here, because the Battle of God depiction definitely shows a figure in the background, a soul figure. They never really showed off his hair or like the way he looks or whatever, but ultimately enough, Beerus, you know, having a premonition of Vegito, that would be awesome. I mean, every single person, especially in the last Q&A video, agreed that they wanted to see Beerus fight Vegito just for the sole purpose of they would both be able to max each other out. With some people speculating that Vegito might be stronger, with other people saying that Vegito would not be more powerful than Beerus, which I don't see how that's the case. But seeing those two fight would be off the charts, because seeing Beerus' arrogance and seeing Vegito's cockiness would definitely be a like a perfect pairing per se, because Beerus wants, you know, to find someone that can push him and test him, even though there are fighters out there that are vastly more powerful than he is, which doesn't make too much sense for him to seek out someone that's equal to him when there are fighters out there even more powerful than him, i.e. Vados, Whis, Dai Shinkan, Omni King. But us having to see Vegito versus Beerus, honestly, I'm gonna call it now, and I'm gonna say that if anything, they're gonna have like a standoff per se. They're probably gonna have like, you know, a war of words, but I really doubt that those two are actually going to knuckle up, because if they do, that'll be one for the ages. I mean, seeing Vegito fight Beerus, you know, would be one of the greatest things, I think, in Dragon Ball Super, just because we want to see the ultimate fusion go up against the god of destruction. So by the end of it, however, I can't really say who to win or lose, because I can definitely see Whis or Bulma or someone stopping this before it even escalates to a different level. But how many of you guys want to see Beerus fight Vegito, or at least like have a lot of tension with him, because Beerus can be like, oh well, you know, I bet you're still nothing to me, and Vegito can be like, well, I can beat you without even transforming. Like that'll be like that'll really be some shit. But in an essence, in terms of Beerus having to look at the premonition back when Battle of Gods and say that, well, it wasn't really Goku, I think it was Goku. And I'm still going to stick by the fact that I do believe that it definitely was Goku, and it will be Goku, and Beerus might get his rematch again with Goku by the end of this, and not Vegito, because if this was Vegito, I think they would have made it kind of clear, or at least the Oracle Fish would have been like, well, you know, it's the powers of two forged in one, or something like that, you know, giving him more hints and details as to like who he is, because all that was really mentioned was Super Saiyan God, right? So who's to really say for sure? But anyways, Mr. Super, thank you for the questions, bro, and I hope you have an awesome day, my friend. Now moving on to the next question, which is from Molkson. I really hope that I pronounced your name correctly. Hey Alex, UnrealEntGaming, I appreciate the hard work you do for us. Thank you, man. You're the best when it comes to giving your viewers Dragon Ball content. That really means a lot to me, and I really hope you guys do enjoy the content that I provide for you. So thank you so much for that. Question number 1, do you think that Goku and Vegito will achieve a new form later in the series? Question number 2, who do you think will win Survivor Series between Brock Lesnar and Goldberg? Not a Dragon Ball question, but I'll answer it. Question number 3, who do you think will win in a death battle between Turles or Vegito with the Scouter? I really do appreciate you and what you do on YouTube, and I'm also looking forward to facing you in Xenoverse 2. Have a nice day. Have a nice day as well, my friend. To have a new transformation, to have a new form is something that every single person really wants to see. Everyone wants to see a new form go beyond that of Super Saiyan Blue, including myself in a way, because thus far, this entire series has been covering Super Saiyan Blue, with the exception of Super Saiyan God or the red-haired form, because I really hate the fact that they only utilized it once, right? In the manga, they utilized it many times, but in the actual show, they only utilized it once, and I'm so ticked off by that, because they could have given us Golden Frieza versus Super Saiyan God Goku before he became Super Saiyan Blue. They could have given us something else, but instead, they decided to just completely scrap that and introduce Super Saiyan Blue. So I get it by all means, but in terms of us seeing a new transformation, I do think that it's possible for us to see something different nearing the end of the series. Possibly like towards the end of Dragon Ball Super, whenever that's going to be, we might see Goku or Vegeta or both achieve a never before seen transformation that's going to be the very tip of Super Saiyan power, or at least the powers of a Saiyan, or how far he can go. But in terms of right now, in terms of fighting Zamasu, Goku Black, going into the next arc, I really can't see that happening. Perhaps maybe in the next arc we might get a little glimmer as to Goku and Vegeta transforming, or at least one of them having a new form. But in terms of right now, I can't really say, because we don't know the direction in which they're willing to take Dragon Ball at, because in Dragon Ball Z we saw Super Saiyans 1, 2, and 3. In Dragon Ball GT we saw Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan 4 only. And in Dragon Ball Super we've seen Super Saiyan God only once, sadly enough, and we've seen Super Saiyan Blue. So I really hope to see another form, possibly like a white-haired form, perhaps maybe something else, something different. But in terms of us seeing a new form, I think that'll take place later, and that's if they decide to go down that route, because if they don't, then we'll just be stuck with Super Saiyan Blue until the very end. Now, to answer your second question very openly and bluntly, I'm going to have to say the winner is going to be Brock Lesnar, just to even the odds. Now, to answer your third question, Turles versus Vegeta, I would have to say probably Turles, because if he begins to eat the fruit from the Tree of Might, and he begins to get stronger and stronger and stronger, there's nothing that Vegeta can ultimately do to stop him in a way. So I think that the battle will heavily lean more towards Turles' direction than Vegeta's. But in terms of like them having like a death battle per se, and if Vegeta transforms into a great ape, all Turles needs to do is just cut his tail off and that'll be it. So in this little particular struggle, I'm gonna have to go with Turles on this one. But anyways, my friend, I want to say thank you for watching, thank you for the questions, and I hope you have a fantastic day, bro. Now, moving on to the next question, which is from Jeremy. Hey, Alex, you're my favorite YouTuber. I appreciate that, man. I have a few questions for you. I hope you answer them. Question number 1, do you think that Merge Zamasu will escape against Vegito and go to a different timeline? Ooh, that would be very controversial. Question number 2, who are your 2 favorite fusions, not counting Gotenks? Obviously. Well, if you're talking about like villain fusions too, then I definitely have some answers, but that all depends on what you mean by fusions, because in the game Dragon Ball Fusions, there are endless fusions, by the way, so it's really hard to say for sure if you're counting the games as well. Question number 3, what happened to Merge Zamasu? Thank you for answering my questions, and have a good rest of the day. Thank you. The same applies to you as well. To answer your first question, Merge Zamasu escaping, that'll be so awesome to see. Like, what if Merge Zamasu begins to lose, even though he's completely fine in terms of survival? Imagine he's just like, you know what, I'm done, catch me if you can, bitch, and he just like time loops and he goes somewhere else, and everyone else is forced to follow him and stuff by, you know, tracking his key down and whatnot. That'll really be like something, because now you're going to be in pursuit of this crazed god who's just like, you know, hopping from timeline to timeline, potentially destroying worlds and stuff. So that'll be really cool to see. However, do I think it's possible? I do not think it's possible. I think that the climax and the conclusion of Merge Zamasu and the story of Trunks and Vegeta and Goku is going to occur right here, right now, and it's not going to allow Merge Zamasu to time skip or go anywhere else, or, you know, jump from timeline to timeline. So I think that by the end of this, we're definitely going to see Vegito hold him down long enough for something to happen to him. But I mean, the concept of him, you know, just traveling throughout different dimensions and times, that'll be really awesome, and that'll make so much sense because he does have the time ring, right? So if he knows that he's losing, why not just jump through time and stuff? You get what I'm saying? So that'll really be awesome. But I really doubt that's gonna happen, to be quite blunt with you. To answer your second question, favorite fusions. Okay, if we're counting the games, I will have to say the fusion between Beerus and Whis, which is amazing, by the way, in Dragon Ball Fusions. Seeing those two fuse, also seeing the fusion of future Trunks and Vegeta, they look really badass as well. But if you're counting the main continuity of Dragon Ball, then obviously enough, you know, Vegito and Gogeta. But if we're talking the games, then I mean, I have an entire list for you. I have Cell and Frieza, combining and joining bodies. I have Beerus and Whis. I have Vegeta and Trunks. I have Goku and Gohan. I have Beerus and Omega Shenron. I mean, stuff like that. So, but not counting Gotenks, obviously enough, then it'll be Gogeta and Vegito. And to answer your final question, I actually answered that in one of my videos that I will link down in the description, where I pretty much talk about what may or may not have happened to Zamasu, possibly causing a mutation, possibly even allowing his regeneration to get all morbidly messed up and stuff. So who knows? This could be the end result of his regeneration failing him. This could be the end result of you know, him having to, you know, have his fusion get all messed up because he fused with Goku Black, who was already transformed, and we know that that's not supposed to happen according to the Elder Kai. So I mean, one of many things could have happened, but I don't think that this is anything like too drastic per se. If anything, I do think that he'll probably be stronger, so that'll give him the edge. But in terms of like what really happened to him, I can't really say. I mean, the best explanation I have for you is just mutation, but who's to really say? I mean, it could be him attempting to transform, but Vegito prevented that. It could have been the backlash of the Ring of Light behind Zamasu before Goku destroyed it. So this could go either way. I'm hoping that it's something to where it boosts Zamasu's powers, but we're gonna have to find out once the episode drops this week. So anyways, my friend, I want to say thank you for the question, and I hope you have a fantastic day. And once again, guys, thank you all for watching this edition of Dragon Ball Q&A. If you guys want me to make another episode following this, then simply let me know in the comments. Also, drop your comments down in the comment section below, guys. I'm definitely going to go ahead and pick that up and provide you guys with my opinions. And of course, if your opinions differ from mine on said questions, then drop your comments down below. But again, guys, thank you all for watching. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more awesome Dragon Ball content. If you guys are not following me on Twitter, then make sure to follow me at UnrealEntGaming, and of course subscribe to my vlogging channel, guys, at Unreal Vlogs. Tons of awesome stuff on there as well. So again, guys, I want to say thank you all for watching. God bless you all. Tune in for the next video, and I'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Take it easy, guys, and God bless. Peace.